What if I told you that you could tap into Padre Pio's miraculous power and use it to become virtuous and holy? Many of us have heard of Padre Pio's astonishing power of healing, and especially power, you could say, of spiritual healing. Many people would flock to him with their sins, and they would leave almost like saints. But now that Padre Pio's not physically present, how can we still benefit from those amazing graces? I am going to show you how with my trusty magnifying glass. And I bet you had no idea that my magnifying glass could capture this secret, but it did. And I'm going to share it with you. Saint Pio of Pietrelcina, commonly known as Padre Pio, is known for his profound spiritual gifts. And today, we will explore a fascinating aspect of his life: his ability to read souls. And here is a story that will leave you completely astonished. It is about a man who, like many others, he came to Padre Pio full of doubt and skepticism. This man was wealthy, educated, but unfortunately, he was an avowed atheist, convinced that everything he heard about Padre Pio was pure superstition. And unfortunately also, he wasn't just content to dismiss the priest's supposed miracles, but he went even further and he wanted to expose him as a fraud. So to do this, he planned to confront Padre Pio during confession. Can you imagine? Something hard to imagine. He wanted to do this by withholding his sins on purpose. But as soon as he sat in front of Padre Pio, something happened that this man could never have predicted. Without saying a word, without the man saying any word, Padre Pio began to speak, detailing his entire life, the man's entire life, every sin, every hidden moment of shame, and even the things that the man had forgotten. Now you can well imagine this left the atheist completely and utterly speechless, unable to understand how Padre Pio could know so much about his life. And then came words that shook him to his core. Padre Pio said to him, "God has been waiting for you all these years. Don't let him wait any longer." Now, at that moment, everything changed. This man, completely overwhelmed by emotion, he confessed everything, absolutely everything, every sin, every regret, with a sincerity that he had never known before in his life. Many, many years later, he would recount that day with these words: "It was as if Padre Pio saw through me, straight into my soul. I came to disprove him, but I left with the truth." So together, we are going to analyze this story. And in a moment, I will show you how to tap into that power. But before that, I want you to know that this wasn't the only miraculous transformation that Padre Pio had performed. Countless others, from hardened unbelievers to desperate souls in need of healing, all of them, without exception, found peace, truth, and faith in his presence. Padre Pio, born in 1887 in Pietrelcina, Italy, he became a humble Capuchin friar, but he was known for his extraordinary spiritual gifts and profound holiness. Canonized as Saint Pio of Pietrelcina, he became one of the most beloved saints of the 20th century. He became famous across the world for his spiritual gifts, and his fame reached places as far off as United States because of his gift to read souls, which allowed him to discern the sins that penitents forgot or were reluctant to confess. He also had the gift of healing and the gift of prophecy. He spent much of his life in the monastery of San Giovanni Rotondo, where countless people from around the world traveled to seek his spiritual guidance. Now has come the moment for my trusty magnifying glass. True spiritual growth begins with one single step: humility. Now, that atheist, in his pride, thought he could confound St. Pio. But it was not the man's miseries that St. Padre Pio revealed that made him humble. It was the encounter with Padre Pio's grandeur that fascinated him and marveled him, that made him humble, that made the atheist man humble. Because that is what admiration does to us. It makes us forget ourselves while we are admiring someone greater or something greater than us. And that is the essence of humility. It is not so much the thought of our miseries, because, let's be honest, in thinking of our miseries, we tend to think excessively about ourselves. It's the forgetfulness of oneself, but occupying our mind with grand things, with things that point us to God. And when we do this, we automatically realize that we are nothing within this great panorama. For sure, this is what must have happened, what this man must have gone through. And that's when grace was able to work in him. Padre Pio saw the right moment and admitted those striking words: God has been waiting for you all these years. Don't make him wait any longer. So you might ask me, how can we apply this in our daily life? Very easy. By occupying our minds with the lives of the saints, with the grandeur of the church, with the beauty of the church, with the thought that this grandiose God, this marvelous God, is also our Father, and He is waiting for us to go to Him like He waited for that skeptical atheist. These thoughts will distract us from ourselves and put us in a loving relationship with God. Now, of course, if we had a Padre Pio around, it would help a great deal. But given that Padre Pio is not physically accessible anymore, I'm stressing it's not physically accessible anymore, what could help us in this point? Well, Padre Pio himself had a great devotion to our Blessed Mother, whom he called the Mother of all graces. He believed that entrusting oneself to Mary's care was one of the most powerful ways to grow closer to Christ. So I'm going to propose an excellent solution. The solution is consecrate yourself to Mary by the method of St. Louis de Montfort. Making your consecration, it involves giving oneself entirely to Mary. And to make things even better, you can do this for free from the comfort of your home with our online consecration. And if you want to know more about it, I will leave a link in the description below. Now, this consecration to our Blessed Mother attracts many, but I mean many graces, and has converted countless hardened sinners. Hardened hearts have been melted, just like an encounter with Padre Pio himself. So, what are you waiting for? Click on the link and start your consecration. Now back to St. Padre Pio. He always encouraged others to lean on our Blessed Mother, saying, "Love Our Lady and make her loved." Padre Pio's life was full of miracles, but it was also marked by deep trials. Imagine being misunderstood, scrutinized, and even silenced. Yet, through it all, Padre Pio remained steadfast, his faith unshaken. What was it about this humble priest that caused such controversy? And how did he emerge from these trials stronger than ever? And how must we deal with misunderstandings in our family or among our friends? Why does God allow these distressing situations? Now, the answer lies in the next chapter of this remarkable story. Stay tuned for the next video where we will uncover the secrets behind St. Pio's trials and triumphs. Now, this is a journey you won't want to miss. So, until next time, God bless and Salve Maria.